Yogis, welcome. For today, we'll start lying down and you'll need your block, or if you don't have a block, grab a pillow. You'll come to lie down onto our backs and pop the block or a pillow underneath your sacrum. And so that's more underneath your glutes than it is the lower back. It's actually not touching my lower back at all. It's really at that cutoff point of my sacrum, that bony part towards the glutes. And so I want your hip bones to be the highest height here. And then really take a few deep breaths into your stomach as I'll explain what we're doing today. So take a moment first to get comfortable here and to let your body really fold on top of your pillow or your block. This yoga class today is all about healthy gut really, or gut health. And so studies show that when there's an imbalance in our gut, it affects us mentally as well as physically. And so physically we might feel bloated or constipated or soreness in and towards the stomach area. And mentally it can affect our emotions when there's an imbalance, our senses even. And if there's anyone prone to anxiety or depression or even chronic pains, then it might affect those conditions as well. So how do we fix that? Most of our days are now spent with this kind of compression, this folding into the stomach area. And so very little time, we have a lot of space and a lot of movement into where all our organs lie. And because we sit down most of our days, again, lesser flow of oxygen and blood flow helps that effectiveness of movement and of functioning. And so for today, we'll work a lot of compression to lengthening, to twisting, to rinse out anything kind of stale and stuck, to really refresh. And naturally, it has a lot to do as well with what we eat and how well we hydrate, so maybe keep that in mind for the rest of your week after this class. So begin to take a really few big breaths and let that breath rise up through the stomach and fold through the stomach, like almost exaggerate that a little bit. So you feel that massaging of the abdominal wall and almost like a wave of the ocean. And immediately we get a little massage into our ascending and descending and transverse column. And we'll just get a little space. We get the blood flow, the oxygen flow. And so 5 breaths of stillness here, and see if you can make those breaths in and out through the nose. When you close the eyes, thoughts are a little less loud and a little less repetitive. One big breath, deep down and into the belly. And after that last breath, gently begin to bend your knees and set your soles of the feet to the floor. You just move your block out or your pillow out to the side. And just for a moment here, massage that bit where the block was, and either have your feet to the floor and sway, or you might hug the knees into your chest and take little circles and sways there, like small but mindful. And then we begin to hug the right knee into the right shoulder. So the left sole of the foot might either stay onto the floor, or it comes forward if that's comfortable and it actually touches down. And then interlace all 10 fingers and hook that around just the shin, so below the knee. And then bring the right knee out to the right side and into the right shoulder in a good, strong press. And so really use your biceps here and ground the shoulders down. And so what we'll do now is we cut off through our ascending column. So we're really avoiding the chest and coming out, down, into the side, into the shoulder. Whether you touch it or you're quite far away from the shoulder, it doesn't matter. But have that compression of the leg, the thigh, squeezing into the right side of your digestive tract. We hold this for about 5 more seconds and really pull in some effort without that obviously being sharp or painful. One more breath. You might not even be able to take really big breaths as you're pulling so hard and as there's a slight restriction. And then slowly extend the right leg forward and just be absolutely still for a moment. You might feel that heat go through the right side of your body. And so that rush of fresh, high oxygenated blood comes right through, maybe flushes away some things that were stuck on that side. Changing sides now, interlace a fingered grip again, grabbing just below the left knee and then left knee to left shoulder and a good squeeze. And again, if your foot's not comfortable or it's not touching down on the right side, then you just park your sole of the foot to the floor to mortify. But then really get the effort going. Pull it in as much as you can. Knee to shoulder, not to chest. See if you can even flatten a little to the back of your neck. You might create somewhat of a double chin. No one's watching, no one cares. 5 more counts here. Nice and thorough squeeze through our descending column. So generally speaking, we carry between 3 and 7 kilos of waste toxin. And so that stuff that's been lingering in our tract, in our digestive tract for like so long, or maybe just a big meal, and of course fluids. Slowly letting go of the leg, straightening the leg forward, and just a moment of stillness. Let the body work its magic here. One more breath. And then slowly hug the knees into your chest. And one more time, but this time a double bind. So see if you can lift up and grab opposite elbows right over the knees here. And then squeeze the knees into your chest, transverse column. See if you can lengthen the back of your neck down again, your head as well. Lengthen the shoulders down, squeeze it in nice and tight. One more big breath in. And release. 2 legs forward and just 2 breaths here to let that freshen up and freshen out. One more breath. So if we'll make our way from here into a tabletop, so it's nice to just take a bit of rock and rolling just to get some energy flowing. Massage the spine as well, so the back end of what we're working on towards today. And then pop yourself up and over into a tabletop, meaning hands and knees. So the hands are underneath the shoulders and then knees are underneath your hips here. A few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, dropping the chest and lift and look up. Exhale, really press around. Can you suck the stomach in even more? Bring it to the spine to find that compression. Inhale, let the belly kind of hang as we're opening through the chest, looking up. And exhale again, scoop it in like you're about to be punched into the stomach. An exaggeration today. 3 more breaths here. And of course, if you like your cat-cow moving through side body, then feel free to do that now as well. Final 2 breaths. Move exactly where you need that. Pick up Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with that breath. So we build that inner fire as well. Some inner heat. We'll come back to a neutral spine. We're in a tabletop here. Step your right foot behind you and lift the right hands. Now you might park that left foot a little further behind you so we feel nice and grounded here, okay? We're in a side plank variation here. From here now, take an inhale, lift up, use your obliques and bring the right hand to the right shin. Lengthen over, lengthen through that side body. Slowly coming back, left hand comes to the floor, right hand comes over, lengthening through the right side body. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can grow taller between the arms and longer from toes to fingers. Last round. And all the way back to your table top. One round of cat-cow, inhale. Exhale. Other side, of course. Come back to tabletop. Left leg extends behind you and positions down. My right foot apart further behind me again to find more balance. Lift the left hand up, your modified side plank. And then use that big breath in to lift up. And bring your hand over to the left side. And exhale back down to the floor without ever crunching into joints. Use the abdomen strength here. Lift and rise and stretch on over. And exhale back down. So side body lengthening, last round guys, is also particularly amazing here to get more energy. Coming all the way back and back down to your tabletop. We're quite ready for a downward facing dog now, so curl your toes, lift your hips, and take your first down dog. You might take a little walk here. You might be absolutely still. Either way, lift those sit bones, lift those shoulders, and spread wide between the fingers. Let's take tiny little steps all the way forward to the top of your mat. And once you're there, just hang upside down for a moment. Shake out tightness, shake out tension through the head. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and then arms heavy, head heavy. Let's curl up to stand slowly. Standing nice and tall into our mountain pose, Tadasana, top of our mat. Shoulders down and back, hand palms come forward, and again, all this length, all this space into our abdomen as well as our side body. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, take a forward fold. Bow in, forehead to knees, and again, scoop the belly in. See if you can literally press your thighs and your stomach together. Inhale, take a halfway lift, press forward into the shins. Lengthen forward, hug the shoulders, scapula, and then come bring the hands down, step it back to plank, and immediately let's bring the knees down. Inhale, we shift forward, exhale, chaturanga, elbows come in as you lower down nice and slowly. Just welcome your triceps into the workout. Take an inhale for a baby cobra, get heavy to the stomach, but ground through the pubic bone, and then downward facing dog, press back. And so even on those little moments into Cobra, we have that compression through the stomach. Inhale here, look forward, any way you like, guys. Lots of freedom today in how you want to move to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. And then exhale to forward fold. Again, squeeze legs and belly together. Inhale, arms up, look up and stretch up. This time, crush your thumbs right at the top and move over to half moon, so to the right side, lengthen through the left side body. Inhale, bring it back through center, half moon left side, reach the arms and hips to the right side. Inhale, arms come up, swan dive forward, so big arms. And again, connect belly to thighs, forehead to knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to your plank. Now you might bring those knees down or otherwise come to those tippy toes and elbows in as you descend nice and slowly. Cobra, if you guys are ready for up dog, feel free. Downward facing dog, exhale. One more round, guys. Inhale, look forward. Maybe a little hop, maybe not. Flat back once you're at the top of your mat. And forward fold. Forehead to knees. Rise to stand. Inhale. Cross the thumbs to the left side, half moon first. Exhale. Up through center. Inhale. To the right side. Exhale. Get long rather than collapse over. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, big swan dive all the way forward. Forehead to knees. Flat back, inhale. Step into your high plank. Knees down if you like, otherwise shift forward and descend down. Cobra or up dog, really stretch out through the abdominal wall, but open through the shoulders and collarbones. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale here, look forward, and exhale again, step or jump to the top. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, fold. Arms up, inhale. And then exhale, Samastitihi, hands together, thumb center up, chest. So we're getting warm, we're moving, and we constantly massage and press and compress and open and lengthen. And so we're really getting into everything to do with digestion, but also kidney and liver. Slowly from there on out, interlace the fingers right behind your body. And so I'm interlacing the fingers here. Try and squeeze the hand palms together if you have that flexibility through the shoulders. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And then slowly start to look kind of forward and upwards. Push the pubic bone forward, engage the glutes, but then lift your heart. Pull the shoulders back and see if you can find a nice back bend. And it's not about collapsing back. It's about a lift and going over, and just see what works for you today. Inhale, come up, hands back, Samastitihi. Rise the hands up to the sky, inhale. Swan dive forward again, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Vinyasa flow again, exhale. So again, anytime and every time I should say, you have a choice. You come to the knees, you take your full variation. You might skip it all together. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. One breath in, one breath out. Feet come a little closer together, maybe even to touch. Right leg lifts up to the sky. And then exhale, knee to nose. See if you can connect it again, if you can touch it. Inhale, lift it up. And then right knee to the right tricep, as high as you can. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, step it forward. Bring the back knee down and rise up. Good, so we have that hugging in. We interlace the fingers yet again behind you. Closing hand palms if you can, no biggie otherwise. Can you scoop the tailbone forward? Lengthen your heart up and see if you can look up and maybe even come back into a little back bend. One more little breath. Heart up and lift up. Bring the hands together, thumb center of chest. Lengthen forward, inhale. And we twist to the right side, exhale. So it's the left elbow coming on the outside of the right thigh. And instead of taking traditional today, make a fist with your left hand. And then the right hand comes right on top. And so now you have a little bit more pressure to lift your stomach off the thigh and twist a little more. Come back through center, inhale. Bring your hands forward, your left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise up to stand. You might choose to take a little back bend just to finish the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Create that awareness of that constant movement and flow into the abdomen. And again, anytime you're tired, you come straight back to down dog. Otherwise, you are flowing through your chaturanga and your back bend right now. And so our meeting point is back into dog. When you're ready, guys, feet come closer together, left leg to lift, inhale. And then knee to nose, really lift. Inhale, lift it up. Left knee to left elbow or higher. Lift it up, inhale. Step it forward in between the hands. Back knee down and coming up. Low lunge. And again, after that compression and that hugging in, now we open and extend. So interlace those fingers behind you. Lengthen up, shoulders widen. And imagine two hands into your lower ribs, someone to lift you out of the lower back. See if you can press your right thigh going forward, including your tailbone. And then don't fall into lower back. Think about lifting your heart up, looking up, maybe walking those hands a little closer. Coming back up, hands together, inhale. We lengthen. And exhale, twist to the left side. So once that connection is there, elbow to thigh, then right hand becomes a fist, that's your bottom hand, top hand on top. Inhale, lengthen one. Exhale, start to push into that fist. Lift your stomach more off the thigh, looking up. Belly in. Come back through center, inhale, hands down, exhale. Step your right foot all the way forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Samastitihi, hands together, thumb center of chest. Good, guys. Slowly ground through all 10 toes, so kind of that lifting and spread the toes nice and wide. And then from there on out, we bring the right knee up. Take a moment to balance, then grab it and pull the right knee into the chest again. Again, it might touch, it might not. Whatever you're doing, don't fall into the standing leg or the spine, and instead stand up super straight. Squeeze it and breathe. One more big breath in here. And then exhale, slowly letting go of the leg. Can you send it back? Hands to your hips and fly. Lots of heart rate going up. If you have space or you like a bit of heart rate extra, then reach the arms forward for warrior 3. Otherwise, keep it on the hips and feel that the hips are leveled. And you can also monitor that by having your baby toe and your big toe flexing straight down to the floor. One more big breath in here. And then exhale, step it all the way back. We're into our high lunge or crescent lunge. Arms reach up again to find that length, that lift, and you knit the ribs in here to lengthen through the lower back. Take a big breath in here. And then exhale, let's open up to warrior 2. Take another round of breath here. We know this shape, but it always requires some attention. When you're ready, reverse but stay low. Inhale, left hand draws back. And on an exhale, 2 hands to the inside of your left foot. And so straight away, your descending column, so left side of your stomach is compressed with the thigh here. And just breathe into this. Sit nice and low. We're opening through the hip and psoas as well. Breathe, breathe, breathe. See if you can sit a little lower through the hips. Nice. One more big breath here. And then see if you can come all the way back up. Same way, but straighten through the front leg. And reverse. Breathe in. Good. Slowly come back to warrior 2 and we'll sit into our Skandasana. So we go and sit through the right leg. Bring the hands together. Toes, right toes go out as you come and sit low. Bring your arm on the inside of the right knee. Hands can be to the floor if you need them here for support. And now we have that compression through the right side of our stomach, waistline, digestion. If you feel like you have more space here, reach the right hand forward and out, and the left hand up and out. Breathe as we find length and still compress. One last round of breath. Bringing 2 hands down to the floor, kind of like a little lizard, make your way back to the top of the mat. Inhale, high plank. You know that you can skip it. Modify, exhale, descent. Through to the back bend. These back bends might be Cobra, up dog, or full Cobra. So good for digestion. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in and big breath out. Inhale, look forward. You might step or a little hop to the top. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Compress, squeeze. Rise to stand, inhale. Samastitihi, exhale. Round. Maybe lift and spread through all 10 toes. Stand so tall, even the chin. So our thyroid into the throat has a lot to do as well with how we digest, the immune system, everything. Lift your left knee up when you're ready. And then squeeze it in to the chest without falling into the back or the standing leg. Can you help pull the knee in and let that be a feature? Just squeeze the chest forward. Breathe. And as you let go of the leg, can you not drop it like it's hot? So nice and slow release. Hands to the hips. Send it back. Square up through the hips, and again check maybe that the baby toe and big toe are in line. There's some softness through the front knee. If you like that energy and that flow, you might stretch the arms forward for your warrior 3. We hold it wherever you are for 3. Draw the belly in again. Never let that hang on the side. 2. And slowly step it back. 1. High lunge. Arms up, inhale. Open up, warrior 2, exhale. Take an extra breath here. Pay attention. Where is everything? Front knee over the second, third toe. Knees and back leg, so important. Now reverse. Inhale, right hand draws back. And exhale, 2 hands on the inside of your right foot. Don't let your hips sag behind you. Keep parking those hips right in between the 2 heels. Squeeze the right side of your belly into the thigh, and the thigh into the belly. 3 more breaths here. Squeeze it in. 1 more breath. And we use the abdomen to rise up and straighten as we reverse, so that compression now gets all this length and space. And coming all the way back, warrior 2. Hands together. Left toes turn out, so you can sit down into your left skandasana, left knee bent. Left shoulder on the inside, check that your toes and your knee are facing upwards on the right side. And if you did it on the other side and it works, your left hand extends forward in front of the knee, right hand up, and breathe. 1 more big round of breath. Hand comes down, come all the way forward. Move your way through, or not, you're around the flow. Downward facing dog. Inhale from here on out, we shift forward to high plank. And we'll take a side plank. Feel free to step your right foot forward for a modified side plank. I'm doing that now, right hand is up. Or maybe you have 2 legs on top of each other. Take 1 more inhale here. Can you lift the hips higher and reach the hand forward? And then step your right foot behind you and see if you can spin your chest open. And look behind you, wild thing. Come all the way forward and back to downward facing dog. 1 breath in. 1 breath out. High plank, inhale. Side plank to the left side. Left hand reaches. Modify, right? If you need to, no problem. Then lift the hips higher. Reach the arm forward. And with that height, step the left foot kind of hip level behind you, and then spin, rotate and twist. And let your head fall back, wild thing. Inhale here. Back to your plank, to your dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg up. And only step it about 1 meter forward, so not as big as normal. Plant your back foot 45 degrees and just rise up. And so it's not as wide as our usual stand. Our usual stand, our feet are kind of hip width apart. Hands are to your hips here. And then from there on out, no, actually, I decided to keep the hands to the hips. From here on out, bend your chin to chest. So we're choking through our thyroid. And from here on out, like a little snail, we'll start to roll down. So chin to chest. Looking at your belly button, round, big rounding through the spine. Bend the back firmly as much as you need to touch your forehead to your knees. Really hard to talk right now. So we're cutting off through the thyroid and through the abdomen. We're rolling everything together. Tiny little breath here. 2 more breaths. And then slowly roll yourself back up to stand. And step back, top of your mat. Big breath in, and big breath out. Inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Walk your hands forward and come to lie down. So maybe through a chaturanga, maybe you've had it, right? You just come and lie down. Either way is fine. So we're all the way onto our stomach here. And so there's this full compression onto the front line of our body. And so for today, just our simple locust pose to begin, which is our airplane pose. Arms beside you, hand palms facing down, baby pinky fingers towards the thighs. And then zip up your legs like you only have one leg. Reach the upper body, the arms, and then the legs as much as you can. But keep gazing forward onto the floor. So your full body weight is onto your stomach right now. Full compression, amazing to take away some bloating, and really good to strengthen the back for us to have better posture throughout the day. One more inhale, lift, 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 lift. And then slowly let yourself rest down. Create a little pillow, 2 hands on top of each other, and sway your legs side to side. We're definitely getting nice and warm and sweaty. Always is the case whenever we're working and rinsing out. Stop. See from here on out if you can press back to plank. So hands underneath the shoulders, knit those elbows in. And then curl the toes, lift the knees, lift the thighs, lift the belly, and press. Downward facing dog. Left leg to lift, left leg to lift. Exhale just about 1 meter forward. Back foot is 45 degrees outwards. And rise slowly. Ideally, again, your feet are kind of hip width and then 1 meter apart, just so 2 hips can go forward. Soften through the front knee. We tend to hyperextend. And then chin to chest, hands to hips. And like that little snail, come and roll. Double chin. And roll and roll and roll. Touch your forehead on the kneecap. And I'm not even kidding about that. Really make that connection. Bend your knee as much as you need to touch your forehead all the way. So you have that choking sensation. It's really hard to breathe. Then you're doing great. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, roll up. And exhale, step back. Arms up to the sky. Inhale, if you love your back bends, take another one. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk yourself forward. Your high plank, inhale. Maybe knees down, maybe just roll down. Exhale, back onto your stomach. Good. We'll go back into our locust, or if you can, bend your knees and grab your feet, and that just comes quite natural to you. Then try to take a floor bow with me. And again, if you can't grab your feet, then please just don't feel bad about it. Squeeze your feet together, your knees together. Take a big breath in, start to kick into your feet, roll forward, and look kind of forward. Anyone super bloated, start to rock forwards and backwards here. Otherwise, just keep kicking, keep opening, full body weight again onto these organs. One more breath in, lift, lift, lift. And then slowly fight gravity as you roll down. Head resting, and either just rest or sway the legs. Big breath in, big breath out. Pressing back to a plank, and again, feel free to take that to the knees, yeah? And then into your downward facing dog. Big breath in. Maybe a sigh out can be nice now. Walk your hands to your feet. Roll up slowly to stand. Good. Before we take our more grounding and calming poses, a little play here or a big stretch, and that's up to you to choose today. So start to walk your feet wider. Heels are in and toes just come off the mat, and then hands together, come and sit down. Our Malasana, Yogi Squats. Now you might still have your block here, and if you're like, oh, this is so not my shape, just sit on a block, push the knees out. Lengthen the spine. Definitely lengthen the spine, that's so important. If you don't need the block, don't use it and breathe. And so again, we're opening through the lower belly, but also through the hips, right? Because hips just always need some love as well. So we stay here and we breathe. And then often you see maybe people coming upside down into your crow pose. And we'll just work on a cheeky little arm balance here, which is the baby crow, which is your crow pose, but then onto your forearms. And because we've done so much kind of compression, it kind of makes sense. So we again work on those thighs coming into the waistline. So if you want to give it a go, otherwise just feel free to stay, but you know, open yourself up. Be a child if you feel like it and if you've got energy left. So we walk our hands forward, walk the feet maybe in a little bit, and we want to bring those forearms down to the floor. And with all these shapes, all kind of arm balances, look forward. If you look down, you might fall on your nose, but also there's a good chance of you falling down because we're looking down. So see if you can ground your forearms and they're shoulder width apart onto your mat. Come onto your tippy toes. Forearms are down, shift forward, squeeze your feet together and off the floor. And so you're landing onto your triceps right there. Maybe it's happening, maybe it's not happening. And either way, you're so close to the floor, so you literally just have a chance to fall like an inch down. It's not really scary. If it didn't work the first time, please humor me and give it one more go. And then onto the forearms, look forward, lift your butt, and plant those knees onto your triceps. Point those toes, lift them, keep looking forward. Hold, squeeze, breathe. When we've had enough of all that, downward facing dog. Walk your feet one step forward, your hands one step back, and curl up to stand. Nice time to calm down. When you're ready, guys, tree pose. Right sole of the foot on the inside of the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. I want you to only pick the inner thigh if your hip bones, and have a little feel, are still in one straight line. If your right hip bone lifts, then you just don't have the flexibility in the hips, and you're better off bringing the sole of the foot into the calf. Last but not least, please don't ever bring it on the inside of the knee. The knee is not a big fan of that. And the knee is really good at telling us off. Hands together, thumbs center of chest, because we're grounding, we're calming. Take a sigh maybe, but stand so tall. So many studies these days show that we are more successful in life when our posture is really good. We come across more beautiful, more confident. So let this be a moment of drawing in, lengthening up, even your chin, because we've had that compression through the thyroid as well. 3 more breaths. Take as many sighs out as you need, if that helps you kind of calm and ground. And if your foot is into the inner thigh, can you press the inner thigh back into your foot? 2 hip bones going straight forward. We're not opening out to the side. 1 more breath. Shoulders back more. And just nicely, precisely, gracefully, right foot back to the floor. Tadasana, mountain pose. Breath in. Breath out. The left foot lifts up, left sole of the foot, ankle, calf, or all the way inner thigh. Find a still spot to focus on. Hands together from the center of chest, or maybe for the second round, Arms up to find more length through the side. Alright. Again, make sure those 2 hip bones go forward. I'll give you here some stillness, about 5 breaths, about a minute. Anywhere where you can find more length, do it now, last breath. And slowly step the feet together. Inhale, chair pose, feet together to touch. Keep the hands up, lift the heels, come down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly reach your arms forward, sit down, both pose Tadasana, short one, I promise. Draw the chest forward, reach your arms forward, take a big breath in here. Make sure you come forward if you don't have space to go back. Otherwise, low boat, hold, squeeze the belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on the floor, so take a deep breath in and a good deep breath out. One more breath, way up into the belly. Good. And now can you squeeze your legs together? Reach the arms forward. I did say we're on the floor, but I didn't say we wouldn't get off the floor again. So reach those arms forward. Can you lift your legs? We're back into low boat, into high boat, into a seat. Short but sweet, yeah? I'll face you guys, but you can stay into the length of the mat just so you can see me better. Your left leg begins to stretch forward and bring my right knee on top of the left knee, yeah? So the knees might have a gap here if that's just your hip flexibility, but the knees are kind of center of your chest here. And then bend your bottom knee if you can. Yeah, and that's just not possible for everyone. So if both sit bones are on the floor here, into our horse stance here, or into your shoelace, then feel free to stay. Otherwise, just extend your left leg forward, please. Don't bother with it. So do what's right for you. 2 sit bones grounded, please. And then inhale here. This is kind of like your double or triple pigeon. And then lengthen forward. Now you might have your block in which you let your forehead rest. Maybe that needs to be on the knee. Maybe you just kind of lean and hinge forward. Be true to yourself, please, that the right sit bone is also down. 1 minute here. Side than me. So just memorize for yourself which leg is on top. Is it your right or your left one? And then rise back up and out of this stretch. Bring the legs forward. Help out with your hands to untangle and just lay them down. And either be still and feel that blood come into the knees, or if it's more the hips that took the stretch, then just move it side to side. Now that top leg becomes your straight leg forward. And then left knee, it was for me, goes on top, maybe for you as well. Now you might need to stay, and please stay, right? If that's better for you, I want two sit bones grounded. But if it worked, and it works on this side too, then bind, double bind. So your shoelace, your two heels are on each side of your hips, your knees right underneath your chest, either on top of each other or with a bit of a gap, as long as the sit bones are grounded. Inhale, you stay. Maybe exhale, block. That can be a high block, or maybe just fold, as long as you are not about to cry. So softening, relaxing, right? We're so close to our Tadasana. And so you can unmanage the breath. Maybe take some sighs or longer exhales at the very least. 1 minute here. As you are taking your final few breaths, you stay as you are. But if you'd like to find out more how our body works, then you have a nice little example here. If I'm squeezing my hands super tightly together in this interlaced fingered grip, then I can see my knuckles become pale white, and that's because I'm cutting off the blood supply. So at this very moment, I cannot get any blood supply because I'm squeezing so hard. But then as soon as I let go, you can feel that rush of fresh blood rushing through. And so this is an amazing way to get rid of any scar tissue, inflammation, and it works the same for our organs, for our joints, and that's the beauty on how magical our body is. So when you're ready, coming up and mindfully coming out, and again, just visualize that and feel that as well. You can literally feel that kind of swoosh. It is in the sense of temperature, or it's hard to describe, but I hope you know what I'm on about. And so after this, guys, just without too much craziness, come and lie down. We'll take a bridge pose, but I can fully understand if you're quite pooped and over back bends by now. I am. So I am grabbing my block, and I'm using my block for supported back bend. But maybe you're like, no, I am so ready for this. Heck, you might even make it a wheel if you're feeling it. Because we've done plenty of back bending, you should be well and truly warm and ready for that. Otherwise, your heels quite close into the glutes, your feet hip width apart, and your arms beside you. Inhale here, reach those hips off the mat, and then bring the block either underneath you. That can be highest, middle, or lowest, right? You do not have to go as high. Maybe you're in a bridge, maybe you're in a wheel. Send some really big breath into the belly. Let that rise and fall. Don't be shy to send some breath there. Balloon up the stomach if you can. Now wherever you are now, slowly come and set your block back or your pillow back on the lowest level. This is how we started class. And straighten those legs forward. If this hurts your lower back at any stage, because we've done so much work, just keep the knees bent, that's fine. Just 3 big breaths here. Hold that space again, and after that final breath, set your feet down, lift your hips, pop the block to the side. Last but not least, right knee hugs in again, this time into the chest. Big breath in, to a spine twist, exhale, knee to the left side. Widen or cactus through the arms, and breathe into the lower back, middle back, and to the waistline. 3 breaths. the jaw, the brow. Come back through center, hug the right knee in once again. Right leg comes forward, left knee comes in, big breath in here. And the left knee to the right side, stack the hips, ground the shoulders, and look whichever way. And breathe deep, low, abdomen and side. Where can you soften? Begin to do that now as our last shape, and our next shape will be Tadasana. And then slowly roll back one more time, left knee to the chest. Bring the right knee in as well, give yourself a big hug. Maybe again grab elbows, forehead to knees, full compression, head down, squeeze, big breath into finish. And then exhale, slowly slide the legs forward. We are ready for Tadasana now. Grab something to wear if your house or your place in which you practice now feels cold. Lick your lips, it softens our jaw. Bring the shoulders to hug, shoulder scapula to nestle together. Lick the lips again. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. Time to be still. And observe all those little points of life and healing floating in your body now. Tingling, temperature, maybe lightness, maybe heaviness. Still breathing into the stomach. You need to get better breathing into the stomach and not just the ribs. Other than that, the breath is free. Please stay if you have a few minutes, or maybe a lot of minutes. But if you have things next, then gently awaken yourself, maybe a wiggle on the toes and fingers. Maybe a stretch overhead and pointing the toes again. Think of all this length that we're creating, all this space. Reach the hands up towards the ceiling and take a little twirl through wrists, a little bit of love for the hands, the fingers, maybe a pressing up. And then bend your knees, feet to the floor, and roll to your favorite side, to left and left. When that second breath is finished, let the top hand push you back into a seat, any type of seat of choice. Take a moment here to assess your spine and see if you can draw a little taller. And then rub your hands together and bring two hands to your stomach. Promise yourself to drink a lot of water after this practice to flush everything out. Thank yourself for your efforts, for stepping to the mat, for your healthy body.